People are stretching so hard to make the car payment, they're starting to skip the maintenance that keeps the car alive. The car payment's $800 a month, but the oil change is only $80. And somehow it's the $80 number people start negotiating with. Because the lender, it doesn't care that the oil is 2 months late. The lender doesn't care that you're not checking your dipstick. The lender, they just want their $800 a month. So the oil change, it gets pushed over to next month, after the insurance renewal, after the next paycheck clears, and sometimes nothing happens right away. And that's what makes the decision feel safe. The car starts, the payment clears, everybody moves on until the engine develops an actual problem. Maybe it's going to be an oil pressure warning, or it starts making that kind of noise that turns off the radio by itself. Then the repair estimate says $4,200. And now the driver is still making payments on a car that may not even leave the shop. But the repair bill does not arrive alone. The $4,200 repair bill does not replace the $800 payment. It sits right on top of it. The engine stopped, but the automatic payment, that did not. And that's when the affordable car starts acting like two separate cars. The one sitting at the mechanic and the imaginary one you are apparently still paying to drive. Now, the promise was reliable transportation, but the payment consumed so much of the budget that the maintenance protected that reliability became the first thing people ended up delaying. I mean, the car payment fit, but the car did not. And you know that moment, right? You're sitting in the driveway, looking at that little sticker in the corner of the windshield, doing paycheck math with an oil change. And you're saying to yourself, hey, you know what? This can wait one more month. The car, it still starts. But oil, it does not know it's a tight month. The engine's not going to say, you know what? They had a rough couple of weeks. Let's circle back after payday. The engine keeps wearing itself down. And the payment keeps drafting, and that's the squeeze. The maintenance, it can be predictable. But once the payment takes all the breathing room, a predictable $80 expense starts getting treated like a surprise. And buried in the owner's manual is usually the schedule for the way people actually drive. Traffic, short trips, heat, dust, towing. That is a schedule worth checking. Not the one we invent while we're staring at a bank account saying, oh, oil lasts longer when money is tight. No, oil does not negotiate. Your engine doesn't either. But then, you know what? The budget starts shopping for shortcuts. And to be clear, aftermarket stuff does not automatically mean bad. Some aftermarket parts, they're excellent. Some are built by the same suppliers that make the original equipment in the first place. But the cheapest part on the screen is not always the cheapest repair, because the price of the part is only one number, right? The labor is the second number. If a $90 part saves you $60 but fails early and requires the same $400 labor job again, you didn't save $60. You bought the same repair twice. And that's like getting a discount on a movie ticket because they make you pay admission before the ending. So do not ask only how much is the part. Ask, what happens if I have to pay for this labor twice? Because of the receipt, it can look cheaper, but the comeback visit, it's never cheap. And then the car starts sending messages, right? Not subtle messages either. A red oil pressure warning is not the car asking whether Thursday works for you or not. That can mean shut the engine down right now and find out what's wrong. But this is what payment pressure does. It turns a mechanical warning into a financial negotiation. The driver sees the light and starts bargaining with the dashboard. Can we make this work? The dashboard, though, is not your manager. It cannot approve overtime. And once that warning becomes damaged, the household may now have the car payment, the repair bill, the tow, a rental car, and missed work. And that's the real escalation, because the $80 was never competing with the $800 payment. It was protecting the household from 4 or 5 bills arriving all at once. And notice who never shares the risk in all of this, because the lender always gets paid. The payment does not shrink because the car is at the mechanic. It doesn't pause because you need a tow. It does not send flowers because the repair went on a credit card. The lender needed the payment to look affordable long enough for the contract to be signed. But after that, the maintenance budget belongs to you, to us. The repair risk belongs to you. The missed work, it's going to belong to you. And that changes how the old car looks, right? Because the old car may have problems, but at least those problems were not wearing an $800 monthly name tag. The dealership wants you comparing old car versus new car, but that is not the real comparison. The real comparison is no repair costs versus new repair costs. Higher insurance, registration, maintenance, and a repair bill. That, all of it can still show up after the warranty ends, because a new payment does not make repairs disappear. It just gives the repairs a nicer waiting room. And here are the consequences people do not calculate at the dealership itself. Now, suppose there's a $4,200 repair that goes on a credit card. Now, the engine repair, it has interest. The car has a payment. The repair has a payment. And the car may still be sitting there looking at you like, hey, you know what? I thought you said I was reliable. But meanwhile, you may need a rental car, a ride share to work, or somebody in the family that has to rearrange an entire week because one vehicle stopped moving. And that's why that $80 oil change was never just an $80 decision. It was standing between the household and a stack of bills that all believe they are first in line. And for a lot of drivers, keeping the old car starts looking less reckless than signing up for another payment. A reliable car is not the car with the friendliest monthly number. It is the car you can afford and keep reliable. And that is as simple as it can get, because if the payment fits only because you plan to delay the maintenance that keeps the car alive, that car, it doesn't fit. And the $80 oil change was not the expensive part. The expensive part was the $800 payment that left no room for the $80. So before you finance the next car, or before you push that next oil change, check for 3 numbers. First, check for that payment. That's the number the dealership wants you watching. You are already calculating whether it clears before rent, insurance, and the credit card bill arrives. The second thing is the monthly maintenance reserve. Take the routine maintenance the car is likely to need in 1 year and divide it by 12. Oil, tires, brakes, fluids, scheduled services. Put that number right beside the payment. And this is the painful part. The payment only looked affordable because nobody put the maintenance beside it. Now, third, the repair number. Not the worst disaster imaginable. Just look up the cost of one common major repair for that model after the warranty ends. Because if that repair has to go on a credit card, the interest becomes part of the car too. Now, the credit card app is changing or charging interest on a repair for a vehicle that already has a payment.